Bottom of the clip, but the gun shine stay high. What them boys still boating in that way. Big plate, get it for the 18 if you straight. Get cake and stop hating, it's the motto of the state. A lot of face, but it's still real around here. That foreign talk, that can get you killed down here. Niggas better learn the lingo, cause they'll be looking for you in that water finding Nemo. See, Palm Beach County be the craziest. Them Broward County niggas be the craziest. And them Dade County niggas be the wildest. Shout out to Bell Glaze and my niggas at Fort Myers. Salute to all my Florida boys out here on the grind. When niggas out here getting dough with that snow and the sunshine. Ducking nine, waiting at the port to bring in that order. Cause niggas like depend on what come across that water. Welcome to South. I was born in the South, raised in the South. A Dade County nigga that was made in the South.
You. Oh, Street didn't have his makeup on yet. And KB just popped back in. What's good, everybody, man? Hey, if you're in the chat, man, make sure you hit that like. Shout out to Birdstone, Lightstone. What's good? You got me. Make sure y'all can hear me too. Y'all can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. Actually, no, fuck that. If you can hear me, put a 5 in the chat. Put a 5 in the chat. Don't put no 1 in the chat. Because that's gonna make our little what's called look stupid. Anywho, shout out to everybody, man. Yes, we did change the time. It's not my fault. I'm gonna say that. Well, you know. Put a 5 in the chat, man. As you can see right here, this is our grading scale for this evening. Classes in session, as you can see from the I don't know where the street got that picture from. Mario Diaz, I guess, in the back.
That's who he looked like. He looked like Manny.
He like Manny, ain't like Mario. Mario Diaz. That's going to be the official Caneville mascot, Mario Diaz. We're going to do some grading tonight, man. I think actually, I didn't even think of this. Kyle thought of this. And he came with this great grading scale, and so we had an opportunity to kind of go through and punch our grades, and at least I hope we did. Let me see if Street's ready. Oh, he said no. So yeah, we're gonna get Street in here as well. We're gonna talk about it, man. We're gonna give everybody some grades. And we touching everything, man, from Mario down. Everybody's getting a grade. And we'll get into it and what we think. So appreciate y'all being in here as always. Once again, hit the like button. Kyle, you want to kick it off, or you wanna
Yeah, I'm gonna start a little bit for Street. I can't find my darn pen. Anyway, so listen, I asked the how y'all doing? I asked the villains the other day if they wanted to help me out, and I have to apologize to the villains because I was supposed to get y'all this stuff sooner, and I wasn't able to do it. But don't worry, because we're gonna do it again at the end of the season. So right now, like Mehdi say, man, we classes in session. We're gonna do a grading scale tonight, as you can see. Well, as you saw, that was on the bottom of the screen. That's our grading scale. So we finna go over all our coaches, all our position coaches. Some of these things may be applicable to all of them. Some of them may not be. But I want y'all to think about what you've seen thus far, what y'all seen from the highs, from the lows, and y'all gonna be able to give us y'all input. And we're gonna kind of compare it up to what, against what we say as we go. So we're not gonna steer y'all in any direction. But hey, we need y'all to be active in the chat. Make sure y'all hit the like button. It's gonna be a fun show for everybody. So everybody's ready to go. Rich, you ready, or do we need to wait for Streeter? Y'all need from Streeter?
Now we can kind of start. He ain't ready yet. Shout out to Birdstone, Rich. He said talk about. Say, Rich, how you doing, man? We ain't actually. Like, I think you're muted. Still muted.
Yeah, you muted, Rich.
All right, I'm good, y'all.
All right. You survived, bro? We told everybody, you had a little conundrum.
Man, the right team won. The right team won. I think Clemson needed that loss, and I think we needed the win.
Yep. And this is actually an interesting point. Sterling Williams points out we actually going to talk about that. That's one of our grading criteria that Kyle came up with is adjustments. It's a huge deal. So we'll go into it. I'm not going to reveal my scores, but I will. Matter of fact, I should just open up another one up, and then I can show y'all like kind of what we're breaking down and what we're actually working on trying to show.
Yes, please. If they could see it, man, fellas, it didn't. I couldn't. I tried to put my PDF in the group me. Y'all know how the group me is. I couldn't do it. If Rich or one of y'all, if y'all could do what I sent y'all and put it in the group me, that'd be great for them. But we're gonna try to put it up on the screen so y'all can see what our grading scale is, and if y'all need a little bit of explanations, we're gonna guide y'all through that. So, Maddie, we're gonna go from the top or we're gonna go from the bottom. Should we say the head coach for last, or do we just kick the dough down?
No, that's where it starts at. We got to start from the top. Hold up real quick though. I wanna.
Okay. No. I'm gonna let you. Yeah.
And then open it.
All right, get it set up. But guys, we're going over everybody, y'all. So all the little back and forth y'all doing in the group meet is gonna be the perfect place to bring it to. I wish X was out here tonight. And y'all know me. Y'all know I'm kind of a hard grader. So y'all don't get mad at me when I reveal my scores and all that kind of. Yeah, y'all don't get mad. Y'all just.
It comes to the territory. We just fans at the end of the day, man. That the loose part of the media just love his teams. I mean, we gonna be critical. That's just something that's just gonna happen. It's not. It ain't personal. We ain't taking it against none of these guys. I might have to blow this up a little bit.
Might be a little personal, just a little bit.
But yeah,
good job,
right
Eddie.
Here we go. This is our mid-season grades. We're gonna go through it, and then what we'll do is I can just live update this as the chat is. We'll ask the chat, the group. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what do y'all feel about this? Rich, you can do some quick maths with that Clemson degree.
That Penn State. Now let me use the Penn State degree. Clemson just lost.
Penn State one.
Penn State did too.
We'll kind of get an average of what everybody feels, and then we'll put that in as the overall grade, and then we'll reveal our grades when we go through each one. So we ain't gonna take too long, but we are gonna try to.
Now look, y'all kids should be asleep by now, so we're gonna be thorough. We're gonna take all night, but we ain't finna rush neither. So Chris Young, at least 4 of your kids should be asleep by now, so we ain't finna hurry up.
So yeah, starting off with the chat, man. Like like I said, we'll get into it real quick. I'll throw up the scale again, and then later on in the show we'll actually talk about what the overall grades would be and how we would technically as a fan base grade these guys, or how y'all as a fan base as the villains would grade these guys, and then we'll put that into the chat, and then from that point we'll kind of go and see what it looks like, and we'll go from there. So as you can see,
so Mehdi, let me break it down to the people, Mehdi.
Yeah, go ahead.
So as you can see down there, so that's our grading scale, right? You're gonna grade 1 through 5. 1 being the low number, so 1 would be piss poor. 2 would be, you probably should have kept Manny because he could do a better job than this. And that's for, when I say Manny, I mean anybody on Manny's staff. So whatever coach you pick. Acceptable is, acceptable. G5, you probably can go get a job with Lashley. You all right, you can hang around a little bit. Above average, that's your 4. That's your 4-star. You're doing something. We need you. 5 is elite. 5 is your 5-star. 5 is your Jeremiah Smith of coaches. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got it. 1 through 5. One is the low. 5 is the high. You also have extra points. Maddie, can you scroll down a little bit so I can show them what the extra points is? So for each extra point, I'm sorry, y'all. 0 is also an acceptable grade. I'm sorry I didn't put that on there, but 0 is definitely an acceptable grade. So you got extra points at the end of this thing, right? So just to explain it, innovation is an extra point, meaning if you think you've seen the coach doing something new out there, something that we may not be accustomed to, you know what I'm saying? He's doing something that, most of his position doesn't do. Creativity is the same way. Are they using guys in the creative manner? Are they scheming in the creative manner? Like, what is it that you've seen? It can be one game. If you saw something that, was lights out, like that Cam Blitz that he says he only uses once a year, hey, you can go ahead and give him points for that too. Culture fit, that's an important one. Last year, we often talked about the kids, not having the right culture, but we had a lot of coaches that want culture fits. Sometimes it's not about being a bad guy, but let's just like Gaddis. Gaddis probably didn't fit this South Florida lifestyle when it comes to these kids and all those type of things. So that's a bad culture fit. But if you got a guy that's come in and you hear the kids talking about him, praising about him, if he's raising the culture, go ahead and give him that extra point. So they can get 3 extra points. That's that. So let's scroll back up to the top, Mitty. And just to go over real quick, so we can tell y'all what it is. Your first category, you're going to have player development, which is player development and improvement from last year. If you saw something last year that you ain't see this year, I mean in a positive manner, go ahead and grade that appropriately. Adjustments, that's in-game adjustments and game-to-game adjustments, however you want to figure that out. Recruiting is self-explanatory, however you want to grade that. Please, nobody, look, I don't need all y'all giving Coach Joe a 0 just because we ain't got no D tackles, y'all. Just think about it a little bit first. Then we got roster personnel management. How is each group using their kids? Are we seeing things out there on the field that, we think is, oh, okay, that's what he should be. That's what he should plan. Prime example, Jafari Harvey, being able to take him from hand in the dirt to running around. I think that's an A in my book. And the extra criteria is going to be, those are going to be individual things, as you can see, but we'll knock them off as we get to them. So, Maddie, you want to go ahead and run down the coaching?
Yep, let's get it. All right, so in the chat, I need everybody who's in here, 61 of y'all here. First, hit the like button, obviously. Second, you know what I'm saying? Scale of 1 to 5. Obviously, y'all saw the scale before. I'll go ahead and pop it back up again so y'all can see it. Scale 1 to 5 for player development and improvement from last year. Where would y'all collectively, as a fan base, rate head coach Mario Cristobal? Now, granted, Mario Cristobal, isn't like a guy who calls plays or whatever. He's an offensive line coach by trade. So you can take that in consideration. You cannot. It's completely up to you. So let me know.
Rich, give us your take on Mario and his job as far as player development. His job is overall player development, honestly. But like Mehdi said, his specialty is the O line. So go ahead and rock with that.
I got to give him a 5 because part of player development from Mario is developing the whole roster across the board. And of course, we fell short of some of the other teams like Colorado and Florida State who had more overhauls in terms of personnel than we had. But I think to overhaul 45 guys and then to come out and get a top 10 recruiting class your very first year, we're on the verge of having another top 10 recruiting class this year. I think that really speaks towards player development because when you're the CEO of a company, getting the best personnel has to be number 1 on your list in terms of player development. So I gave Mario a 5 here.
Okay. All right, and it seems like the chat looks like they I see more 4s than anything, right, Mehdi?
Yeah, so I just basically typed them as I saw them come to the chat. We can add, we'll add them up and then
No, just take the. Nah, I say just take the just take the vote. Just take what you see the most. What's up there? You got the most 4s, just leave it at a 4.
All right, so 5. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 4s.
Come on, man. Assign somebody in the chat to do it, dog. Sign somebody in the chat to do it, dog. Somebody
That's
over
fair.
there care enough to add that shit up. Gage Shoddy.
You can see it. No. We ain't got to be that specific. We can see it. It's 4. It's 4.
You just gonna
a lot of 4s. So,
I think I like that though. I think if somebody like Birdstone is always in the chat, right? I think
Shoddy right there. He on the show every Sunday morning.
Okay.
No, honestly, I'm gonna go with Kyle because we can't be in here all night. But we counted up 4 was 4. So the collective chat looks at Street pop back out again like AB paying child support. But now the collective chat said 4. So we're gonna go with 4, right? I think 4 was the leading one when I counted it. A couple 3s in there. Second was 5, but So the chat as a whole feels like player development and improvement from last year. Main Diaz right now is above average, which is a hard criteria, to being honest. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know why Street took my screen now.
So I got it. Next up would be adjustments. We're gonna stay on Mario. How is Mario adjusting from game to game to you guys? How is he adjusting from quarter to quarter, from half to half? Do you think his adjustments have been, piss poor? Manny Diaz, y'all know. What do y'all think about Mario's adjustments? What do you think about him, Eddie?
For me, I won't give my score, but I'll look at it. I'll take a peek to see.
Okay. Nah, you need to got to talk about the score. Just talk.
Yeah,
just give me some analysis.
So my analysis, obviously, I don't think he's been the greatest of adjustments. I think sometimes life comes at him fast as a head coach. I think people don't understand that, like, you're still learning a lot of the times. And I think for him, he's the chat going in. I see a lot of threes.
Eating his ass.
Only thing Mario adjusts is nuts doing it. He adjusts his nuts. That's it. His jockstrap.
Just his belt. You know what I'm saying? Just his belt on the
game.
He got that little play sheet.
Give his ass a zero.
Nobody knows why he has that play sheet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think it's one of those things where definitely some room for improvement. And I said that during our recap show on Morning Breath. I want to say that there's parts he's still learning. Like, I think it's weird to think about it because he's been a head coach for quite some time. But look at the stints that he's had. You know what I'm saying? It's never really been anywhere where he's been, challenged per se. He usually comes in, recruits a myriad of great talent, and then he goes and, kind of leaves everything in their hands. So I think he takes it a little bit differently. Trey's not playing no games. That boy said it too. But we've heard about him being difficult to work with. We know that. You know what I'm saying? We know it was some people who had some issues with him. And yeah, I think some people made some good points in the comments. Someone said 2, which means that you should have kept Manny because Manny would have been.
Well, no. Well, somebody did say it, but it wasn't Shotty. Shotty was saying he's not giving anyone a 2.
I'm just saying.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Someone rated him that. Was you saying that?
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
But, yeah.
Is that Groove? We got Groove in the chat.
Is he? Or we just trolling?
Hey, look, that's all fair though, man. That is all fair. People have seen some of the lows and they don't like it, bro. It's all fair. I'm not saying I gave him a 2. I'm just telling y'all.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's still a lot to be desired. He still has to work through it, and so I'll tally this all up. But I think the collective is pretty much 3.
I think it's a 3. It's collective.
I think so too.
7,
I think so too.
9, 10. Yeah, it's definitely a 3. So we got 3 from the chat for that. All right.
Okay.
Now everybody's favorite part, and I think I can pretty much see what the answer is going to be.
Recruiting. Come on now.
But let's get to it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Recruiting. And KB, we don't let you talk on this one. Recruiting. Chat. Put in the chat where you feel like Mario has been as far as a recruiter. And we'll let KB talk on that one.
So how Mario has been as a recruiter, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Y'all better be glad we ain't got badges and stuff right now. Silver, bronze, and whoop whoop. Because anybody put less than a 5, I'm taking your badge. I would definitely take your badge. That's the one thing about Mario that cannot be criticized, cannot be brought down. You cannot poke a hole in that. That man is a hell of a recruiter, hellified recruiter. We got mad at some of the misses last year, and I had to keep reminding people, listen, we don't deserve any of these 5 stars. Like when you talk about what's the heart of getting a kid, you know what I'm saying? Most kids want to win. We ain't been shit. After that, it's development. How have we been developing? Not very well. So we didn't deserve a lot of the kids that we lost. And Mario had us a top 5 class until, okay, let me say this properly. Until we lost Carmani and until we lost Jaden Rashada. We were up there, and that was surprising. Nobody thought that was coming. And you look at us right now. I think right now we're in the top 10. Coming off a 5-7 season, this man is doing it again. So it's kind of like bro, there's nothing you can really complain about here. And I think we're gonna finish. We're gonna finish in the top 10. How far up I don't know, but I don't not 10 is gonna be further up than 10. And you just can't complain about the job he's doing, man. He's getting these damn kids, and the kids that we lose. Hey, you win some, you lose some. Recruiting is a dirty game, but also again, we coming off a 5-7 season. Now you can't get mad at people for not wanting to come here. They'll see the light, soon enough. But right now we ride with Mario on that
I
part
can,
at least.
I can tell you right now, we are most definitely lighting some torches, no pun intended, as far as seeing that light, because that win was huge this weekend. So I think it was a foregone conclusion. Everybody in the chat said 5. It wasn't even a question. Some people had 5 plus 10, things like that. So let's move into roster personnel management, and Rich, we'll let you cook on this one. Like, what would you say based on the scale you would grade him? Chat also put that in there for roster personnel management, which I would say
I'm gonna say for Mario, once again, one of the 2 components when it comes to roster personnel management is recruiting, and of course he gets the A+ nod there. But the other side of roster personnel management is going to be who you put on the field during the game, and I'll say he's not quite a 5-star there. So you got 2 aspects of roster personnel management for the head coach. One is of course recruiting. Without a doubt, we all know he gets the 5-star. But the other part, talking about Brashard, I even heard Susan ask Manny a question. She's like, "Hey, Manny, it looks like Brashard is like really one of the most explosive receivers that we have. Just wondering, so do you plan on using him more or how?" And it it was like it's just funny to hear her say that. And of course, Mario said what he said in terms of being hard on Brashard and thinking that Brashard could really make an impact in the game and so on and so forth. But this is something that we've all been screaming as a fan base for a long time, and it took TVD being out for in Restrepo not having his being the blanket for the starting QB for Brashard to really get a look and um, to really make an impact in the game. So I don't know. Great coaches find out a way to get all their dogs on the field at the same time and have them all contribute. So he still struggles with that for me.
I think the collective. I was going to toss it. I was going to say 4.5, but I think as I saw more, start seeing more 4s. So right now we'll call it a 4, which normally a 3 would be considered above average, but Kyle got a pretty.
Can I chime in on that really quick?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Rich, you brought up an interesting point because when I made that criteria, I didn't think about what you just said about talent acquisition is a part of roster personnel management. And like you said, he's done a 5 at that. Obviously, we saw it. So that was something to think about. But he explained, like personnel management. How are you handling guys? How are you playing guys? Brashard was a great example, but then we have to go down the line with other guys, but we don't necessarily know what's going on with some of these other guys. Like we're looking at Skinner, we're looking at. So my thing with Mario when it comes to that is like, when do you step over your DC and your OC and say, hey, why isn't this guy not playing? Or we need to get packages for this guy. Why isn't, so that's a part of it too. I just wanted to kind of, chime in on that. But yeah, rock with Mario, man.
Yeah, for all we know, that may come, that may happen. I don't know what the conversation was like. You know what I'm saying? For all we know, we've been going at it in the chat about your Curry. For all we know, maybe Dawson wanted to put your Curry out there, and Mario was like, no, we don't know, right?
Yeah, right. We don't know.
We'll never know. So, shout out to y'all. We called it a 4. I was edging towards 4.5, 4.5, but it seemed as if the chat towards the back end started kind of spamming more towards a 4. So we'll leave it at a 4. All right, Shannon Dawson. Player development.
Wait. We're not finished. We're not finished with Mario.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Okay, so the next part is these are going to be individually based, so everybody's going to have their own grade. So the extra criteria for Mario, and I got this too. The extra criteria for each spot and who's their best player or maybe even their best example of this criteria. So the last part for Mario is his decision making. I mean, you're the CEO. You make decisions from who you hire, what we do in the game, what we do pre-game, when we wear those black jerseys. You are the CEO. So I need y'all to grade Mario on his decision making. And who is Mario's best? Um, I don't want to say player because it can also be a personnel move too. But what was Mario's best? I guess acquisition or best player or best person or whatever. Like who did y'all think? What was the move that he made for on the field that y'all really love when it comes to talent acquisition, a talented coach or a talented player?
You asking us in the chat?
Kevin Beard.
No, I'm asking the chat. I'm asking the
Oh,
chat. I'm telling them to. But us too, you know what? Yeah, we can say unless y'all want to save it for when y'all do y'all thing. It doesn't matter.
go ahead, Rich. What you said?
I say Kevin Beard, and the reason is I think that a guy like Kevin Beard, and man, you could run. Yeah, I would almost say his second stint at choosing a coaching staff because you got to have Kevin Beard out there. You got to have Tim Harris there because these are Miami guys. Coach Mirabal, shout out to him. G. Holmes Braddock, Hall of Famer, right? Hall of Fame coach. He went to Columbus for high school. But you got to have Miami guys, people that live in the city, who have family in the city, who love the city, who put on for the city. And I think he really covered that, even with the grad assistants having a Pata, on the staff, having a Bain on the staff, having Hippolyte on the staff. Like these are dudes that when you recruit Miami guys, they they have a connection to them some way, shape, or form. So I think the roster is just the way it looks now. The coaching roster is the way it should be.
Hmm.
So, hey, what would you ask, Kyle? Can you ask the question one more time? What was the grade
So
and what
what's
else?
his? So what? How do y'all grade his decision making? Whether that be personnel, roster, game management, all that stuff. Like it all goes into one. How do y'all grade his decision making? And what was his best acquisition, or what's been his best? It can even be a turnaround. It can be a guy that was not so good and now he's doing great. And if you can attribute that to Mario somehow, go for it. But what was his best acquisition? Even if it's so, like let's just say Cohen. Cohen would be a great acquisition because Mario went out and got, he's a portal guy. So portal guys are easy guys to say, okay, yeah, Mario, that was a good one, that was a good one, whatever. Same thing with like Rich just gave an answer. His was a coach. You know what I mean? So
I think collectively the chat is trending between.
a 3 and a 4,
No, I would say 3 and 2.
I'll
3 and a 2.
give him a
Okay.
3, to be honest with you,
Yeah. So
because
what part?
if his decision making is so bad that we should have kept Manny, I don't know about that, but I do think that is it's acceptable. Because with all that stuff being said, at the end of the day, the decision making comes down to what you do in game. So all those coaches you got, all those the player acquisitions you made, what it boils down to is can you bring them on the field and get the W's you need to get? And because you didn't get the W versus Georgia Tech, because you didn't take a knee, because the UNC outlasted us. I was watching clips, UVA versus UNC to figure out how we lost, how they won that game, and the way that they won it is they played UNC close for 4 full quarters, and there was a time where Tez Walker was catching stuff over his shoulder. They let Tez do his thing. They didn't try to stop him. Tez is Tez. They let him do
Mm-hmm.
that. but they still sat there and they kept it close. And then at the end, they caught a interception with 26 seconds left and took a knee. They took a knee and won the game. So I think
I'm not
Mario
gonna.
has got to learn how to, all the people you put on the field, all the acquisitions you make, those should illustrate themselves in games like that.
That's why I said
So
that's why I said the timing of this is so impactful because boy, if we had this conversation 2 weeks ago,
oh my God,
everybody would have him as a 1, no question.
telling you.
And don't
Oh,
say
goodness.
lie like you wouldn't. You would have took that decision he made at Georgia Tech and been like, hell, if we didn't win that game, they would have got mad that we didn't take that decision to go into OT. They would have got pissed.
Mhm.
They would
Right.
say, hey, yeah, Manny probably would have been a better decision maker, but once
Mhm.
again, the timing is super important because as fans, we get emotional. We let things get in our cloud our judgment. You know what I'm saying? Being fans of this team, so it happens. So we ready to move on. So overall,
Yeah, real quick before we go, stop putting up, Maddie. You can put up some of the. Well, I don't know if you can. I know you're busy. If you can, you can put up some of these comments. Some of these guys have some interesting comments. Like Michael King said, his best decision was really revamping the coaching staff. Like that's a damn good one. But I also want the chat to know, like, hey, look, don't be afraid to put your 1s and 2s because it's going to be a totality of score. So if you put a 2, that doesn't mean you're saying, hey, fire him and bring back Manny. That's not what that means. That just means like Manny could have made that goddamn decision, or Manny could have did better. You know what I'm saying? That's all that means. But it's gonna be a total score, so don't worry about. Damn, I voted too much, and now we got to fire him and bring back Manny. It's not that type of. Anyway,
shout
go
out to my
ahead,
dog.
Manny. Let's go.
Shout out to my dog in the back doing the producer vibes tonight, man. Doing his best LMV impression.
Okay,
Yeah,
Street.
we moving on to Shannon Dawson, man. You know what I'm saying? And random thought I had today before we get into Shannon Dawson, right? So I was looking at, and this is stupid, but just something that randomly popped in my head today, right? I actually looked into because I was interested to see how many black how many black quarterbacks has Shannon Dawson actually coached. And at least like who are starting underneath him. And the answer is 2. And one of them is dead. So but I started looking into his family and his history and stuff like that because I was looking through his stuff. And I noticed he had 2 daughters, right? It's completely random. But if his first name is Shannon, could he technically name his daughter Shannon Jr.? Would that be like factually incorrect?
I don't think you named. I don't know, Rich. Maybe you can help me. I don't think women can be called juniors. Well, then again, it's a new world, so let me just shut up before I get kicked
I,
off the YouTube.
I knew a young lady who was a junior, actually.
Her
Really?
name. She had Junior on her name and her initials. She had Junior.
She didn't have it in her initials, but she was a junior nonetheless. Like she was named after her mom.
I think it's. I don't think that's. I think so. I think with women, I think it's called like this. I think you have to do that second or third thing. I
Second,
don't think
yeah.
you can call it. Yeah, I don't think
I
you
don't
can call
know if it
them
was like
juniors.
second or third, but I don't know. It's just a random thought. Anyway,
I'm not sure.
Shannon Dawson. Before him, I would say I did not think that Shannon was a cross-gender name, but sure. Let's get into y'all player development, right? Player development. Need y'all spam in the chat 1 through 5. What we thinking
Read
about?
it. Read it. Read his total. Read his title, Manny. I mean Manny. Medi.
What do you mean read his title? Offensive
Read Shannon
coordinator.
Dawson's title.
Offensive coordinator / quarterbacks coach.
Okay, just so everybody's aware of that. Offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. So when you're judging his player development, improvement from last year, you got the offense and you got the quarterbacks. So
Well, if that's the case, then you got to put safeties coach for Lance Guidry.
I mean that wasn't his title. We're gonna leave that to
Because that's what I
that
was saying
wasn't
is
his
that
title.
safeties and a guy this year coaches cornerbacks exclusively.
Well, this is going by what UM says on their website. So
Oh, okay.
hey, I'm giving all that credit to a guy. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So let's look at what we got here. We got 5,
Oh shit, bro! I left off a die.
4. You just realized it.
I
3.
just realized that.
We add them in there.
Mm-hmm.
5. Oops.
Y'all give
I
us
think
some
we're trending
comments. What
around 4.
4,
these
3,
three starting to pop in?
Yeah, 3,
4,
3.5.
4.
I'll take So for me, when it comes to Shannon Dawson, we're talking about his player development improving from last year. Um, oh gosh, as much as I want to criticize this dude for some of the shit he's done lately, like fuck, this is a we've how many games we've played? TVD has played 6 games.
7. Yeah.
We've seen the good TVD more than we've seen the bad TVD. So he's got to get a 5 for that. Like I can't even blame him for anything TVD did in Georgia Tech or UNC. So his development with his quarterbacks, I got to give it to him. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to Emory, Emory ain't really do shit, but he didn't do bad shit. You know, he threw a couple of balls too low and all that kind of shit, but he didn't look rattled. So I have to give him, the props for that. You know what I'm saying? I think the quarterback development has been well, and the offense is night and day, lights out. I don't know what happened between the bye week and Georgia Tech, why the offense reverted to something other than what we saw yesterday and in the first 4 games. I don't know if that's Shannon. I don't know if that's Mario. It was weird as hell. So it's like you get points for that, but you also lose points for that. So, I could see the high marks for Dawson. I think ugh, he's done well. It's just them two stingers was really, really bad.
Yeah. I think I see mostly 4s. I'm not counting right. 1, 2,
1, 2,
3,
3, 4,
5,
5,
6,
4, 6 fours. Looks
7.
like a
7 4.
4. 7 4.
And then 1, 2, 3, 3 5s, and then 1, 2,
Mm-hmm.
3, 4.
I think 4. Let's
4's
rock with the
got it.
fours.
Yeah, we'll go with
4's
4.
got it. Okay.
All right. Rich, you got anything to add on that?
No. I'm trying to keep it moving.
All right. I do. I'll be quick. Let me cheat and look at what I had. I don't think I had him that high. I don't think I had him at a 4. Yeah. I'll get into that later, but a lot to be desired. I think watching a quarterback regress from week to week. It's hard to put a finger on who that's on, if that's on TVD himself or Emory, but the way he's handled that room, if he is the one that is making the say so about who it is that is going to get the start and who he feels comfortable giving the start to, I just feel like he's mismanaged that room a little bit. If you're in the group, we kind of already talked about that. It's possibly some, how you say, future departures happening, and so we got to be, what's called. Now, by no means did I say he's a 2. That Josh Gad's got to come back instead. It's astronomical. What's called. So y'all can figure out the writing on the wall about what I put. We'll talk about that later. But adjustments. What are we looking at for that?
Ooh, boy. And that's another thing. It's like this guy here started off so hot and just went cold. Um, Shit. Like I ain't giving up my grade, but I mean, like if you would have caught me, of course, them first 4 games, I'd have gave him a 5 easily. These last 3, mm-mm.
Put that in the chat, y'all. What y'all think? 1 through 5 for Shannon Dawson and his adjustments.
Adjustments, whether it be in game, whether it be from week to week, whatever. What y'all got for his adjustments? Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with like giving guys bad grades. Like I said, it's all gonna add up in the end. You get bad grades, you can give good grades, whatever. It all add up in the end. But sometimes the last thing we remember leaves that taste in our mouth. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
his first four games was outstanding.
So I took those, put 3 point. Did someone say 5 or I did put 3.5 by accident?
7, damn. I think the threes have it, Matty.
Yep. So we'll call that collectively a 3.
Mhm.
So I gotta look at this scale again. But what's a 3 again?
A three is average. Average G5. You doing all right, I guess.
All right. So I think as he gets time, and I think maybe as he gets his feet settled a little bit, excuse me, as he gets his feet settled a little bit, he'll get an opportunity to kind of figure out how to do it at the P5 level, because I think there's still an adjustment period. I think with all these coaches there is. Same thing with Dawson, but for Dawson, it's like it's really hard to see a drop off and then it stays the same way. I mean, Guidry, excuse me, not Dawson. So, Rich, you got anything to add about that?
Well, yeah, after 4 games, we would have, 5 stars, but after being outcoached in the Georgia Tech game, being outcoached in the UNC game, and Mario talked about it. Mario said one of the things that they had to do was on offense they had to match um, the intensity that the Clemson offense came with. That's what he mentioned, and he said, and of course that comes from sustaining drives, right, and making the right calls in order to sustain drives. And so Mario mentioned, I think in the fourth quarter we held the ball for 9 minutes, and that's what really, really helped us win the game is just winning the time of possession battle as well as the number of plays as well as the number of first downs. Those things are important because when you play a UNC, for instance, where you didn't do that, you end up basically falling behind because you're just not on the field and
Yep.
you allow them on the field to do what they want. So I say if you got to clearly give your hats off to the UNCs and Georgia Techs of the world who out outwitted our coach. It is what it is. So
Coach it's collective. So,
you're right, coaches.
but yeah, let's move on to recruiting, and this is going to be an interesting one for me. Just because we haven't really seen what he recruits yet. Um,
And I want to make a comment.
go ahead.
So, and this is to Birdstone's credit. You're right. So let me clarify the Georgia Tech thing. So with Georgia Tech, we didn't. I don't think it's just about taking a knee. I think it was more about the turnovers that we had, and then what do you do after you have those turnovers? Like, what do you do? What do you do with your quarterback? How do you get him to play a different style of ball? How do you adjust his game in the middle of the game where he's stinking up the place for real? Maybe
Hmm.
maybe you start having him throw dink and dunk passes like Emery, right? Just like we
The
saw Emery
screens,
do,
yep.
where we keep the offense on the field, but we limit those mistakes. So once again, if you're the offensive coordinator and the quarterbacks coach, you play a major role in how those adjustments happen in game. So
I agree.
Fair points. Um, that boy New King is standing on that. The defense saved the day on that one. But let's get into recruitment, man. If chat, let me know what y'all think. 1 to 5. With Dawson's recruiting, I think we got a 24 and a 25 guy. So let me know what you think about his recruiting to this point. and the caliber of quarterback that he's bringing in.
I know most of the chat is saying like he ain't been here long enough and all that stuff, and I mean we going by what we seeing right now. I mean it is what it is. Like you can also, you can put it incomplete. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're going by what we're seeing. And so far, these are the two quarterbacks that you get to judge. And you can judge on. If there's a guy, he went after and he missed. Y'all, same way y'all do Coach Joe. If he went after somebody and he missed, yeah, right. Ooh, goodness.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about that at all. In terms of his recruiting. I didn't think about him specifically being a quarterback's coach. But yeah, you're right, man. You're right, KB. We missed out on we missed out on Rashada. We couldn't keep him here. Oh well.
Well, no,
Rashada
that's
was
not
the
on
last
him.
coach
That's not. Yeah, I think his miss was Nolan. You could say his miss, I guess, is what Aaron Nolan, right? Right.
Yeah, missed out on Aaron Nolan. We didn't recruit kid from Chaminade, CJ. We're not recruiting him at all.
Mm-hmm.
And to our credit, in not recruiting him, we didn't go out and get a top 3 quarterback. We got Judd committed. So
right. Mm-hmm. You can only go by what you're seeing so far, and so far, the grade is going to be what it's going to be. So, and no, he doesn't get credit for Emory. I don't know why he didn't bring in Emory. But yeah. So
it was almost high, but it looked like a bunch of 2s came in late. So
yeah,
we'll call it 2.
Yeah.
So that
so
means,
his extra. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I would say so. That means based off that logic and what 2 is known as, that means who's the OC on the Manny Diaz?
Well, who was recruiting the quarterbacks for Manny Diaz? Which was who?
Whoever the OC was, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's Lashley.
Yes, I mean, saying that Lashley would have been a better option recruiting.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Lashley would have been a better option recruiting than.
Good one, Maddie.
100%.
Woo, Maddie. You on fire, boy.
That's not me. That's the chat. That's what they say.
For you pointing it out, I was like, that's good. That's a good one.
Roster personnel management. Oh boy! All right, let me know in the chat.
Roster personnel management. Let me hit on that one. So my opinion on the roster personnel management. At first you give it a wait and see. You see what's gonna come out of this, and you wait for certain things to pop, and whatever. The Bashard thing, that's what everybody's probably thinking about. To me, I think that personally took too long to pop, but it is here. But it's something that's been spoken on before. Yeah, I don't. I'm trying not to, steer anybody in any direction. But there's a lot of things to be desired, right? We still haven't seen our tight ends being used at all. And everybody clowns McCormick or not talk bad about McCormick. But Scar was bringing up how many snaps he played. He probably does, but he's a part of that. Like I said, he's a part of the line blocking and all that. So that's why he plays so much. And the thing is, it's not his fault that he's out there and he doesn't get the ball. He's open. Give him the damn ball. If he drops it, then it's like, okay, I'm not throwing you the ball no more. Don't throw him a screen. I don't know where that came from. Don't do that again. But there's so many plays where he can just pop right in the middle and just sit there and squat and ain't nobody around him. Just throw the man the ball. Arroyo's back, not getting the ball. We know the other 2 guys are pass catchers. What's the tight ends? Rich. What's our other tight ends? Skinner and what's his name?
Young guy.
Riley. Right. Let's get these. Scar, you're right. Cam doesn't put pressure on the defense, but he's open. So I can't get mad at Cam. Like I get exactly what you're saying, and you 100% right. But he's open. throwing the ball. Maybe then we can put pressure on the defense because now it's like, okay, we can't ignore the tight end. But we have guys
He
that can,
scares me.
you know,
I want him. Cam do be open, and I want him to get the ball, but he does.
what
I
easy
mean, you
pass
saw
he what easy pass he
the
dropped.
he dropped the easy pass versus Clemson. It was right in his hands.
Oh, and
He
Clemson, I
dropped
got
it,
to
and he
see.
was like,
Okay.
dang, I know I ain't gonna get another one now.
and I'm okay with that. But if you should have like all season feed him. You know what I'm saying? If he's open, you feed him. He ain't gonna drop all of them. What's the point of him? If he's out there for 71 snaps, bro, you have to throw the ball at him at some point. He wants to. He was surprised. But yeah.
All right,
So that's your. Go ahead.
Okay, let's look at it. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 threes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I count that right?
Man, somebody gave that boy a 0. Eesh.
Yeah, that was swole
Look like
Brown.
it looked like twos, man. Unless you want to go 2.5.
It's 6. It's tied 6 and 6.
So we'll go 2.5. What are we gonna do?
All right, we can do that 2.5. That works. And then last but not least, scheme. Rich, you want to talk on this one?
Scheme for Mr. Dawson. I think his scheme is probably one of the I would say the shining light on offense. And I say that because we've been averaging 505 yards prior to the Clemson game. Even in a loss to UNC, I think that was still our average. Or maybe I think it still was, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, I see, even though we don't play a lot of personnel, I do see where when Dawson starts realizing what type of talent is down here in South Florida, which I think he realizes it. I think utilizing that talent, spreading the ball around, having a 6 deep, 7 deep at receiver, including tight ends, maybe even 8 deep, is just what you got to do down here because you got a lot of great guys that are talented and a lot of guys who can win you ball games. So when that's all said and done, I think his scheme fits doing that. And this is exactly why we're in contention for some big name guys when it comes to receiver as well as running back and tight end. So I love his scheme. I'm either a 4 or a 5. Like for me, I'll be a 4 just because he hasn't utilized his scheme to its full potential. But I wouldn't even be mad at somebody giving a 5.
I echo all of that. If it was honestly, if it wasn't for UNC and Georgia Tech, and it's not the losses, guys, the running game, the schematics change in those two games. I don't know why. If it weren't for those two things, and again, it could be on Mario, I would have gave him a 5 if it weren't for those two things. So I'm with Rich on that one.
I don't know why
It's almost like he tried to install new plays, and they just
for
didn't
no reason.
work out or something.
For no reason.
all the scores going off the screen. So, what do we?
So the last thing I got it, Matty. The last thing was who is Dawson's best player, like that you can attribute to Dawson. Like if you look at it, you want to say, well, it's TVD. That's a viable option because TVD don't look nothing like he did last year, and we're all thankful for it. Well, besides the Georgia Tech look, but you know. But we can move on, man. The chat can still answer that. Who y'all think Dawson's best player is?
It's like an added bonus question.
Yes, just an added bonus question.
I don't know what the number is for that, but I'll just leave it up. It went off the screen, so I can't.
Let's roll with the threes. I see threes.
Yeah,
I see a shitload of threes.
there was some 5s at the end, but I think they were just trying to.
Oh, it was? Oh shit.
Yeah, they were just trying to counteract. Let's just call it a 4. Whatever.
4. Okay.
It's not my grade, but all right. Defensive coordinator, player development improvement from last year. Let me know in the chat what we think about Guidry's player development and improvement from last year. Spam it up in the chat, 1 through 5.
Now what street monkey ass at? He should be answering this one.
I see an empty I see an empty chair in the backstage. So
Oh, okay.
let me know, chat.
I'll go with it because this is my favorite guy right now. Player development improvement from last year. And Street should be here for this one. Because he's talked to Cam a lot, and Cam praises Guidry a lot. He talks about how he simplifies things, how he knows everything, how you know what I mean, and I think that has spread to on the field. You look at the defense, look at the way it plays, look at how fast they get to the ball, how excited these guys are when they're playing. This is a new James Williams. Like, tell me it's not new, but we know last year he was hurt, but this is a different James. I shit. I think Corey Flagg is Corey Flagg, but I think we're starting to use him in a way where he pops more. Who else? Who else is like developing that I want to give you guys a
Man, just Corey Flagg, and he plays less.
right.
Plays significantly less, and
Oh,
he's
I'll give you one. I'll give you a good one. Look at Francis Marvinoa. It took him a while, I think 3 to 4 games to finally really get comfortable in the scheme. You got to think he's coming from Washington, whatever, where they were doing something different. He was good over there. His first 1, 2, 3 games, we're looking like, dang, he don't look good in run. He don't look good in pass coverage. Certain things aren't there. Now you see him as it's going on, and this dude is popping over the screen, causing turnovers, getting sacks, getting should have been safeties, like all that kind of stuff, man. You see the guys developing from week to week and getting better and better. Bain is getting better and better from week to week. So, just as a whole unit, yeah, I think Lance is doing a fantastic job. And I think the development is noticeable. I don't think I'm wrong in saying that.
I will say, I was trying to pull it up, but breaking news for those who aren't aware. Francis Marvinoa is the highest graded run defending linebacker in America per Pro Football Focus.
Wow. Yeah, you guys are Couch, Harvey. Yeah, man, man, this shit is like night and day. It looks
I
like
see
the
a couple
fives have it
4.
to me, maybe.
Yeah,
Fuck
I see a
that.
couple
I
4
see
in
them
that.
five.
Yeah, I will definitely call it a 5. All right, adjustments. I think I know what the chat gonna say on this one, but for the sake of giving an opportunity, chat, what we got for adjustments? I think this weekend alone is an example of what the number should be, and as I thought, it's a pretty given. The fact that
Y'all know we have 4 linebackers out there sometimes too, Medi. We have 4 linebackers sometimes.
Yeah, I'll speak about this. The fact that this man was able to figure out a week, and Sterling ain't giving no love, but the fact this man was able to figure out Sterling.
Hey, Sterling, cut the bullshit, man. Come on, bro. I'm
The
just
fact that
joking.
this man was able to understand, identify, and just listening to his post game conference this week, yesterday, and figuring out like, hey, this is not working. What should we do? To figure out like, well, I got a bunch of athletic linebackers. Weird. I could probably use those guys too. I think that's an elite. Like, think about that. Not many coaches in America can change their entire defensive scheme from week to week and have it be like functional and work. You know what I'm saying? Like, that takes a whole lot of trust and development in your players to be able to do so. So I'm gonna call it 5. I don't think anybody else is really going to, except Sterling Williams. He called it 4.5. But outside of that, you know what I'm saying? I think that's a foregone conclusion. Recruiting. How do you feel about recruiting?
I think the defensive side of the ball has been our best additions. Yes or no, Rich? So far.
I would say so too. I mean, we recruited the guys that we needed. Did we have a couple misses in recruitment? Yes, at linebacker. Of course, I would have loved to see us get the kid from who went to Miami, Stanquan Clark. I would have loved to have him.
No, no, no.
Um,
That's not Guidry. You're talking about for this year.
oh, you're talking about for this year. Um,
Yeah, so that would be Lightfoot and those guys.
oh yeah, then he's top tier, but he's not overwhelming. So DVD and Mario are the standard. So that's 5-star to me when it comes to recruiting. If you're not that, then you automatically gonna be less than a 5-star. So um, that's where I'm at with him. But he is a great recruiter, though.
Okay.
I would
Yeah,
actually
guys,
put that.
we don't know real quick, man. We don't know who's a primary on who we don't. Like that's too much information. We're just going by the general grading scale or whatever. He's a defensive coordinator. Are we getting good defensive players in? Yes or no? Just like that. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
But 247 to tell you who the primary is, right?
Yeah, but who the fuck's gonna do all that? Like it's just
No, I
like,
got
bro.
you. My
Yeah.
biggest thing is I just saw it. Someone put in the chat earlier. Shout out to whoever put in the chat. The safety he missed out on from the transfer portal that was supposed to come with him from Tulane. Ended up going to LSU.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, and he
Mm-hmm.
ended up grading out super high. So, what was my grade for him?
But what safety you gonna get to follow you over here behind Cam and James? So I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair. And not to mention, I don't see him very often in the shout out to E1K, Andre Sam. I don't see him very often as far as recruitment goes. Like I don't see him active. I think the coordinators and I think Adai is definitely the guy in that room. If this is Adai's year based off his contractual obligations, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna have to see you be a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, aggressive in the way in which you go about getting to some of these players, especially these elite South Florida kids. You can do your thing in Louisiana. Shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? My favorite safety of all time from Louisiana. I get it. But at the same time, you got to be able to, be where your feet are planted, and you have to figure out South Florida and get some of these guys here. So, I don't have them ready very highly, but from the look of the chat, it looks like we got a 4, solid 4, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
Burst did point out Zaquan Patterson. You know what I'm saying? And so there's opportunities there for us to get some guys. And obviously, the season's still early in the season. We still have a lot of time till December. But I just got to start seeing you be a little bit more active, right? We can have a die, but you got to also take consideration that if a die does not come here next year, well, how are you maintaining that relationship so the guy doesn't defect to wherever a die's going? Does that make sense?
It does, but that's next year. We ain't. We'll stay where our feet are planted right now. We'll worry
Yeah,
about that
sure.
when it.
All right, roster personnel management. Chat, let me know. And Rich, you can speak on this.
I would say for roster and personnel management, I think in terms of him playing guys who are ready to play, like Mr. Bain, of course, you're automatically going to say he's playing the guys that need to play. So that's a plus. Has a banged up D line and still able to figure some things out, mix and match with the pieces he has. We've been calling for this after the UNC game. We were like, why doesn't he get in a 4-3 or something like that? Well, what does he do? He
Mm-hmm.
watches the film on Clemson, says we have a banged up D line, so we're gonna go ahead and go 3-3-5, and it worked. Especially the play at the end, right? Having that third linebacker on the field where you can sneak up, right? And even though the quarterback is reading the D end, which if he collapses on the ball, the quarterback can take off and run. which was the right read. However, having that third linebacker on the field is what caused that tackle to happen. So, man, the
Mhm.
adjustments, I got to give them a. Whew, hate the. That's either a 4 or a 5 for me.
What you got, now,
Yeah,
KB?
Don makes a good point. He said it didn't take him 6 games to throw Bane out there. That's how they did Greg Russo. But anyway, yeah, I echo everything that Rich is saying. Like it's just roster man, like we talked about it. Jafari Harvey taking his hand out the dirt and being able to run around. Um, letting DP start, even though he's a shorter corner and he's out there freaking balling. The way we use Corey Flag, you know what I'm saying? He's more situational now and he's thriving in that. Um, oh gosh, like Rich said, like bro, last game, perfect example. Like you can't get better than that. We got mauled against UNC. And he went out and said, okay, you know what? Let me fix this. And he fixed it without even having to find a guy. Like most of the time, what most of us would have done, like looked at the roster and said, we got to have a big body that we can stick in there. You know what I'm saying? I know we got some more body. We got it. He didn't do that. He's like, okay, I know what these guys do well. What these guys do well. Let's just change it. Let's do this 3-3-5, bro. To be able to hold a Clemson team to under 40 yards rushing when you're in a 3-3-5, bro, that is not a defense necessarily like set up to stop the run, bro. A 3-3-5, that's crazy. And his guys went out there and balled out. Bain, Hunt, and LT were just ridiculously outstanding, man. And and he knew that it would work, and it did. Man, I can't say enough about Guidry right now. So
I'll give my last thoughts about this. By far, and I've said it for a while now. I think that guy is special. I think that's something. I really think we're gonna have to fight off LSU because you can't. I'm serious. I don't think you can keep a guy
I
like that
know.
away from home because he's gonna be able to. And then having that the way he relates to kids, man, I'm telling you, because I already think Brian Kelly's a weirdo. Like that might be a thing that he might need to keep his job. I'm just being honest because their offense is killing right now, right? Their offense, Jaden Daniels is balling. Nobody's talking about it because he had a weird couple games, but he's killing it, right? So I don't know. That's me. I think Mario has his loyalty though, so I don't think he's gonna leave necessarily yet. But I do think they're going to throw the bank at this dude. We'll see.
We'll see. For our last one is schematics, y'all. How y'all liking his schematics, his scheme? I know it's changed a little bit when it had to, which is what we just talked about. But how y'all liking that scheme? What we running and you know.
I like that question by Derek Cornelius too. Do we think that LT is better suited for the 3-3-5?
That's a fair question to ask at this point. I'm being dead ass. Like
Yeah,
it was only
Ooh, these
last week
fives.
we had asked, hey, where is LT? He disappeared, and then it just took them moving one lineman off the field and replaced for a linebacker and a 3-3-5 stack, and the man popped off the tape. And it was weird to say he popped off the tape because, like KB said, like a lot of the people said, a damn true freshman was popping even more off the tape. You know what I'm saying? En route to being ACC Freshman of the Week, as well as or Rookie of the Week, as they call it, as well as Defensive Lineman of the Week. So, it's one of those things. Like I said, I'm excited for this dude, man. I if we had to make it a stock thing, you know what I'm saying, I would say Dawson. He kind of plateaued a little bit to me as far as his stock climbing, but yeah, I am extra bullish on Guidry. You know, but y'all tell me. I think we had an hour right now, hour and 10 as of right now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to keep going or y'all want to just kind of hold off for another night?
It's up to y'all. We can save it if y'all want to. It is getting late. It's up to y'all.
I think this is a pretty good start. You know what I'm saying? The chat has been excellent. And I think this is a good segment, man. Shout out to E1. He said it was a great segment. We appreciate that. I think we should spin the block on this for sure.
Okay.
Maybe when's our next show?
We got a
can
prediction show.
Yeah, we can even maybe implement this to the prediction show. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
people kind of stand on and speak on a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh wait, no, I'm gonna be on the road for the prediction show. Y'all ain't finna cut me out my own idea.
No. I'm talking about not prediction. I meant the space. That's why I meant to say the space. We can ask if you want to implement this into the space and see how you feel about it. You know what I'm saying? I think this is a good opportunity. And some people go in there and kind of stand on their
I got a
decision.
better idea. I got a better idea. Since we got the position coaches, left. We should go a little bit faster because some of this criteria is not going to be for them.
Okay.
Let's just run a live after the space tomorrow.
Okay.
40 minute show.
See, I heard it, man. We got another. We give you a 2-for-1 tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Bang bang. You know what I'm saying? 2 piece with a biscuit. After the space tomorrow with X, we definitely gonna hit. We gonna hit you with another live. You know what I'm saying? Rich you down, or you gonna be asleep?
Nah, I'm gonna be. We'll see. I'll play that by ear.
Hey,
we'll come back tomorrow.
We'll try to put this in the group me. So for y'all that's not villains not in the group me, this is the kind of stuff that y'all gonna start missing. So we'll put this in the group me. Y'all can fill out y'all own, dockets if y'all want to or whatever, especially if you got something extra to say, and we'll go over it. Really, y'all making the show right now. Like, I'm glad y'all interested and we having fun. We letting y'all rock and roll. We giving our opinions, but y'all rocking and rolling with the points. And I ain't gonna lie, I agree on a lot of this shit. Y'all boys rocking and rolling, man. So, I think this is a good one, man. I just need y'all to come back here tomorrow, though, man.
Yeah, man. Definitely spin the block. We're coming back. We're gonna pull up right after the space. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Shout out to Trey Waves, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we try to break up the monotony. Hey, shout out to Kyle, man. Kyle is the brainchild behind this. You know what I'm saying? He put the form together, everything. I can't take credit. I'm just the man with the clicker. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rich for pulling up, giving his 2 cents. Shout out to Street, man. You know what I'm saying? He was in the back doing his thing. We'll try to get him in there, and we'll try to get X on as well, man. Kind of give. I think X would give a great. He would have gave a great counter argument to a lot of our points. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
That's what we do here, King. We ain't always gonna agree, man. But that's the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? They don't get no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna call each other out of names or like that. But it was just an opportunity to hear your thoughts, hear what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? See where we mesh on the same thing. See, hey, nah, I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? So, once again, man, shout out to y'all. Hit the like button on your way out. Appreciate y'all. If you're watching this later, as in tomorrow, whatever you at work, whatever the case may be, still hit the like button. We appreciate y'all, man. Rich, you got anything to say before we get about here?
This is a hit. I really like the show. Oh, by the way, I see a comment in here too. Any villain merch? So that's gonna be the next iteration. So that's gonna be something we look into. So
no, we definitely got it. I mean, yeah, y'all see X at the tailgate with the Caneville shirt. He got the Caneville with the Florida license plate and the Coca-Cola logo. So he has it. I think it's more of a order as you pay.
Wait a minute.
So as you guys buy
wait a
it,
minute.
What's up?
Sterling said he's tired of being ignored in the group. Me, listen, it's 45 different. Well, they not different. They the same argument, but it's 45 arguments going on at the same time. And if you can't get in there and punch somebody in the face, bro, I don't know what to tell you, Sterling. Because everybody's in there going at it. Boy, them boys been throwing hands. I like Brown. I like Emery. Them boys been throwing hands for 2 weeks now. If you ain't got a piece of that, bro, I'm sorry, bro. It's like my coach used to tell us when we were doing the Oklahoma drill. He used to be like, "Who ain't gotten the drill yet?" People used to raise their hand. Get off my field, because you don't want it bad enough, Sterling. I need you to get in there and get this Oklahoma drill, bro.
Fantastic analogy, man. Hey, shout out to y'all again, man, for real. Appreciate y'all being here. Space tomorrow, I think it's 7:30, 7 o'clock.
7:30.
7:30 every Wednesday. after the space, immediately after the space, we're gonna spin the block. We're gonna do another. We're gonna finish this out. You know what I'm saying? And we'll go from there, man. So shout out, and then at the end of the season, we're gonna do another one. You know what I'm saying? Because
Sir.
sometimes right now we riding high. It's like yeah, and then you see the wheels fall off, and then we calling for that motherfucker head. Like, hey, you gotta get up out of here, dog. I don't know what happened. I'm not saying that's gonna happen. I'm just saying, God forbid. You know what I'm saying? But it's a reality. You know what I'm saying? So let's definitely spin a block tomorrow. We appreciate y'all being in here as always. Shout out to all the villains. Shout out to everybody who's not a villain. Hit the like button. We about this thing. Good night.
Peace.